5 months ago, my lovely client, who for the sake of this video I shall call Julie, got involved with a man she met on the internet. Within a week, she was experiencing the most passionate, consuming, fun relationship in years. He was telling her how beautiful she was, how much she changed his life, and how he longed to become a father. He was telling her everything she'd been wanting to hear from a potential partner. Julie told me that she thought that he might be the one, and that this was the best relationship she'd ever been in. I asked her the following question: Julie, have you qualified this relationship? And watched her face fall as she replied, crestfallen, "I'm not sure what you mean." In my practice as a relationship coach, I do a lot of work with people who've been through some form of heartbreak or difficulty in their relationships. I help them work through their pain and through old patterns and habits that might not be serving them, so that they're ready to embrace love again. But embracing love again doesn't mean throwing yourself blindly in head first. Connected love that lasts is usually built on a foundation of open-hearted communication, trust, compatibility, and really showing up in an authentic way. Before you decide that you're even in a relationship, you want to make sure that you have qualified. And if you're really honest with yourself, how well can you really know someone within a week? All the passion might be there, all the intoxicating feelings of fascination, curiosity, potential, possibility, but really knowing someone takes time. And that goes in both directions. How well do you know them, and how well do they know you? In other words, have you qualified this process to make sure that you're both looking for the same things, that they share the same values, and that you're both showing up consistently in the same way, that they know and accept who you really are at your best and your so-called worst, and that you know and accept the same of them. When Julie first came to see me, it was clear that she wanted a committed relationship with a man who shared the same values. And yet, she jumped into a relationship with this man without testing it for compatibility and without making sure that they were both a right fit for each other. Sadly for Julie, it turned out that this particular person was not in any way good as a partner for her, because after a few weeks of this whirlwind romance, it turned out that although on the surface he seemed charming, engaging, and fun, underneath it he had all the major addiction issues and was in a very precarious situation financially, and this manifested in an erratic behavior and him being in a really depressed state. Julie is tenacious, and she's learned a great lesson in how to get it right next time, applying the practice of dating in an intentional way and working with a great sense of self-worth and patience in her journey towards finding her ideal partner. Here are some of the practices that Julie and I worked through. Number 1, when you start dating someone, take your time to work through certain questions before you decide whether or not you want to go to a dating scenario or into a relationship with them. Generally, people might take a few months to get to know someone, but this is an individual preference. During this phase, you want to ask yourself, what do I need to know about them before I commit to a relationship? And similarly, what do they need to know about me? When you've covered off the most important questions about knowing each other, you're ready to consider being in a relationship. I often work with my clients on defining what those questions might be, and if it's something that could be of value for you, for me to create a video on the subject, please let me know in the comments below. Number 2, during the dating phase, you want to make sure that you address some of the basic questions like, are they also looking for a committed relationship? If someone is saying, well, let's see where this goes, it may be an indication that they're not looking for a long-term commitment. Initially, both parties do want to see where it goes, but you want someone who's also looking to see if this is something that has the potential to go into the future. It might eventually turn into a relationship, but it's not yet a relationship until both parties want it to be a relationship. Number 3, when someone wants to be in a relationship with you, they will make concrete plans with you. They will commit to things in the future. And to start with, this might be at the level of agreeing a time in advance for a coffee, a drink, or a dinner. And as time goes on, this might turn into planning a trip away together or planning next summer's holiday. All of those things are, what's done. But if it's the last minute spur of the moment decision, then this isn't quite the same as a concrete plan in the future. The point here is the question, are they making time for you in their future? Are you important enough for them to commit time for you in their schedule? Number 4, making a conscious decision in advance about when is the right moment for you to move towards more physical intimacy. And for a lot of people, this is the moment at which you decide that you are in a committed or an exclusive relationship. But again, it's also an individual thing. The one thing I do advise is that you don't dive deep into this physical intimacy without working out what this means for you first. It's very easy to get carried away and confuse chemistry for compatibility after you've crossed the bridge to being physically intimate with someone, and there will be all kinds of hormonal and chemical reactions going on for you that will affect your thinking. Have you ever gotten carried away and thought you were in a relationship only to find out that the person on the other side wasn't feeling the same way? It's such a painful feeling, isn't it? Whilst I'm all for learning through experience, if we don't become consciously aware of our patterns and of what we really want to move towards, we can often find ourselves repeating the same mistakes over and over again. If this video resonated for you, and if you'd like to find out a little bit more about my recommendations on qualifying a relationship so that you're sure that it's right for you, do take a look at my video called How to Find the Right Relationship. I'll put a link for that video for you now. I love sharing my tips and tools and guidance with you and supporting you on your journey to thriving relationships. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.